Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys ex McCarthy reveals final decision. Whatever happened to that bidding war market for free agent coach Mike McCarthy? Former Dallas Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy had stated his preference. He wanted to work with the Jones family in a way that got the lame duck boss a contract extension. "Yeah, I hope so," McCarthy said after the season when asked about whether he might stay in Dallas. "I hope so, to be honest with you," but he and Jerry Jones opted to part ways, while McCarthy's camp made sure the world knew that the coach would end up getting the job with the Bears or the Jets or the Saints. But now we know Big Mike is getting none of those jobs, as on Tuesday night NFL.com reports that he's choosing to focus on the 2026 cycle. In other words, nobody hired him. Agent Don Yee stayed busy creating buzz about a McCarthy's move to another NFL team. So the national media was all about the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets. The Bears' idea got some traction when it was leaked that they sent a private plane for him. But they hired Ben Johnson. The Jets' idea caught on due to a possible Aaron Rodgers reunion. But they hired Aaron Glenn without even interviewing McCarthy. And what is happening in New Orleans? The city's biggest media outlet, the Times-Picayune, recently made a bold prediction. Head coach Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys mutually agree to part ways, wrote columnist, adding, after courting Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn and John Gruden for their vacant head coaching position, the Saints announced the hiring of Mike McCarthy as the club's 12th head coach. It's almost as if he wrote that himself. The Saints did interview McCarthy. But he's not getting the job. Ironically, the guy who might is Kellen Moore, the Eagles coordinator who is Super Bowl bound after having been nudged from the star by none other than McCarthy. Meanwhile, Big Mike Lieutenant Brian Schottenheimer is the new Cowboys coach, while McCarthy is left sitting out a year until he gets another crack on the NFL coach carousel. Diana Rossini, really weird Jerry Jones press conference should be studied. Brian Schottenheimer's introductory press conference as the Dallas Cowboys' new head coach wasn't just odd, it was a masterclass in dysfunction. While Schottenheimer dodged the outright awkwardness that plagued Liam Cohen's Jacksonville debut, there was no escaping Jerry Jones' tendency to make everything about himself. Between shedding tears and combating the narrative that Schottenheimer is a comfort zone hire, Jones managed to run the bus over his new head coach multiple times, all while holding the wheel. When asked about the rationale behind hiring Schottenheimer, Jones embarked on a long-winded monologue about his career, his presence at the Senior Bowl and his unfulfilled dreams of coaching, all without directly answering the question. For those hoping to hear a coherent plan, it was yet another reminder that the Cowboys operate on vibes, not vision. It was quite the spectacle, one that the Athletic's Diana Rossini summed up perfectly during her appearance on the Dan Le Batard show with Stugotz. "The buzz today has really just been Jerry Jones," Rossini said during a Tuesday spot on the Dan Le Batard show with Stugotz, "and just the way that press conference went down. It should be studied because there were so many moments of just awkwardness. There were some moments where he was emotional. The whole thing was really weird. And I kept thinking, if I was Brian Schottenheimer, does the owner want me here?" There was some tone in there where it could be condescending at times. I didn't really get this rah-rah speech from Jerry that made me go, okay, I get why he went in-house, why he went with the offensive coordinator of the head coach that he fired, because, to me, I don't care what they're trying to sell in Dallas, they did not have a plan. They did not think that this was going to fall apart with Mike McCarthy, and that the two sides would go on in different directions, and that they would be on the market for a new head coach. Productive Cowboy advised that leaving Dallas is ideal. All eyes are on the Dallas Cowboys with just 2 months to go before the 2025 NFL free agency period opens. It's going to be interesting to see how the Brian Schottenheimer-led Cowboys navigate free agency in March. Not only does owner/general manager Jerry Jones need to address several pressing needs after Dallas went 7-10, but he must also make decisions on key pending free agents, including running back Rico Dowdle. The veteran rusher is set for a major pay raise after a career performance in 2024. Considering how the Cowboys are projected to be nearly $1 million over the salary cap, per Spotrac, there's a chance that America's team could choose not to re-sign Dowdle if he demands too much money. If that's the case, one NFL analyst already has an ideal landing spot for the 26-year-old runner. On Monday, Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox projected that Dowdle's next contract could pay him similar to James Conner. The Arizona Cardinals RB signed a 2-year extension worth $9.5 million annually in November, which is a number that'd be too expensive for the cash-strapped Cowboys. That's why Knox wouldn't be shocked if Dowdle signs with the Denver Broncos, who have $39.8 million to spend. The Broncos, however, should be willing to invest in a starting caliber back in 2025, Knox wrote. Denver found its quarterback in Bo Nix, but ranked just 21st in yards per carry as a team. The Broncos are already rostering 4 running backs, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. Jaleel McLaughlin and Audric Estime only combined for 806 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on 189 carries last season, while Blake Watson and Tyler Batty only saw 15 carries between them. Meanwhile, Dowdle outperformed the Broncos' RB room in what was a breakout performance in 2024. Despite beginning the year competing against the lethargic Ezekiel Elliott for touches, the ex-South Carolina Gamecock finished the year with career highs in carries, 235, rushing yards, 1,079, yards per carry, 4.6, and total touchdowns, 5. That's without mentioning how Dowdle averaged an impressive 98.5 rushing yards in the final 6 games to end the season, proving that he only improved as the schedule progressed. Unless Dowdle is willing to take a major discount or Jones works some financial magic, the Cowboys will likely need to find a new starting RB at some point this offseason. On top of the Broncos, Knox also listed the Las Vegas Raiders and Los Angeles Chargers as other potential destinations for Dowdle. It won't be much longer before Cowboys fans learn about Dowdle's fate. All 32 NFL franchises are permitted to talk with pending unrestricted free agents on Monday, March 10, before free agency officially begins 2 days later. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Rico Dowdle? Leave your opinion in the comments.